going on, guys? Well, I'm in the mood to do another knife review for you, and this one's special, as they all are, since I love all knives, but this one means a little bit more to me because this is a design that I fell in love with since the day I saw it. Had to have every single production version, and then eventually, you know, got a chance to try the custom version, and just completely blown away by this. Of course, I'm talking about the Alan Folts designed Minimalist. Now, the bottom one is the custom one. This is the one I've been using for many months now. And this one here is a production version. This is going to represent the production version, although it's a little bit different. This is the one I got from Chopfest at a Blade show from CRKT. This one is a little different in that it has a run of jimping on the back, but it will be the representer of the production version, okay, and comparing these, because I do think that if I'm going to do a review on this, I have to compare it to production. Most of you out there are familiar with this knife because it's such a cool design. Most of you bought them. And of course, there's a couple different blade variants on there, but these are, you know, similar enough to compare them in this review. Now, I have a lot of experience with the production versions. In fact, I love them so much. I've had every blade variant that there is. The only other one besides this one I currently have is that karambit style blade, which is just super cool, but it's a little bit too different. I didn't want to use it in this this review because the blade shape might throw you off a little bit, so I wanted to use this one. But I have a lot of experience with the production version, absolutely loved it, and then when I got the custom, I was even more blown away because the production versions are so comfortable. They melt in your hand so nicely from that triple finger choil. They're so simple. I mean, obviously it's called the Minimalist because that's what it is. It's a very minimal design. Right, we have a very small blade, about 2 inches or so. On the production version, it's a very, very lightweight knife, 1.1 ounces. The custom version is still very similar at 1.65 ounces. At least that's what came out to on my scale. Lightweight, simple, to the point. It's a minimal design, right? Nothing crazy going on here, just super, super comfort and a nice little neck knife. Of course, you can carry these on the belt or slip into your pocket, but from the production version to the custom, I've always carried it as a neck knife with some simple paracord. So, my experiences, well, they've been absolutely positive. There's nothing bad I can say about this design, whether it's production or custom. But in this review, I want to focus a little bit as to why you may want to try out the custom as opposed to the production. Now, the price differences. You can get a production version of the Minimalist by CRKT for about 20 bucks. That's about the cheapest you're going to pay, is about $20, $21. I've seen as high as 30 or so, but generally speaking, they're like 24 bucks or slightly cheaper. Compared to the custom, starts at about 150 bucks. Now, that's basically just a G10 scale with the CPM 154 blade. That can go up in price a little bit depending on materials. I saw one that was Damascus with like mother of pearl, and that was like maybe 260 or something. So of course you're gonna pay a little bit more, but generally speaking, most of them are 150 bucks. Now I'm gonna post a link to Blade Art. That's one of the sites I found that currently does have a couple of these Minimalists for sale. They have like a princess one. It's all pink and it's got some design cut out on the sheath. If you're a female or if you just happen to really like pink, that's a cool one to get. There's a bright orange one that's awesome. There's a yellow one. Of course, they have a black one there with different blade shapes. But if you look at the prices, they're all about 150 bucks. So if you are lucky enough to find one of the customs, that's what you can expect to pay, is I would say 150 on up. Now, there is quite a bit of price difference here, but there's also a lot to consider. This is a fully handmade custom knife by Alan Folts, whereas this is his design. Obviously this knife was made after that one by CRKT. It's a production knife. You're able to make a lot more, cheaper materials and so forth. Now, the one reason you may want to go with the custom is simply because of the fact that it's a custom, all right? A lot of people don't buy custom knives because of one reason, and it's the biggest reason. It comes down to money. Pretty much everyone watching this video, you clicked on it because you like knives. Now, not everyone has the availability to be buying $400 or $500 knives. And of course, in the custom scene, a lot of custom folders they're all like, you know, an average price is anywhere from $400 to $500 a knife. That's way out of so many people's budgets, right? When you get into custom fixed blades, especially smaller custom fixed blades, you start seeing prices like $150, $200, maybe $300. That's, you know, still a lot of money, but it's going down in where more people are available to get those particular knives. Now, something like a neck knife being even smaller, there's even more availability to people as far as affordability. So the biggest thing I could say about this is that I love that it's $150. It is a simple knife. Some people would still never pay that. But if you're in the production scene, a lot of you guys are buying $150, $200 folders anyway. If you want to try a really nice small custom fixed blade, I would say to start here. It doesn't get much better than this. I mean, attention to detail here, of course, very high quality materials. It is CPM 154, a simple G10, but the differences between like the production and the custom is in the details, and it's always going to be the details. I mean, obviously, if you're not into knives, you could put two of these on the table, ask someone what they like more, and they may just pick the black one because it's black, and they like the color more, you know? But when you're handling this, and of course you have some knowledge behind knives, and you've used a lot of different knives, you can see the differences and feel the differences in the quality. Now, to the average person, a non-knife person, you wouldn't know the difference between different steels or care. But the difference between, you know, a higher grade steel and a lesser quality steel is huge for most of us who use our knives. Okay, if you can sharpen your knives, it may seem like, you know, it's not a big deal, but of course you want that edge retention, you do want that performance. You would always prefer a knife that can, you know, cut better and stay sharper longer, right? So that's obviously one pro on getting the custom. The CPM 154 is a fantastic steel to use. And these neck knives are more used than they are collectible. Of course, you know, any custom knife can be collectible, but this is something that a lot of people would buy and actually use, as opposed to that $400 or $500 folder that they don't want to scratch up. So the materials are better. Again, attention to detail, the difference between just the curvature and the molding on the handles. You can see it is absolutely seamless from the flat part of this G10 scale. As this curves inward, it's completely seamless. It's so smooth, it's such a beautiful transition. Now on this one, it's already smooth, the production version, but you can see the difference. You can see here's the flat, and here's a you know, definitive line as to when it starts curving. Another thing, if I zoom in here so you can get a little bit more detail, is you can see a little bit of that blade poking out, which means the scale is just a tiny bit off. You're not going to get something like that when you're talking about this custom version. The fit and finish is completely spot on. Again, just another detail, you know, and the difference between a custom and production version of a knife. Another detail, you know, the little lanyard that's on here, which I think on the Minimalist, on whether it's the custom or the production, it is good to have that on there. I've cut them off of the production versions, but not this custom, because it does give that pinky something to hold on to. It's not completely necessary, but I do find it to be very functional. It gives that extra length on a knife, you know, for more grip, of course, and it's not half bad looking. I like it on this version. It's a little bit thicker material on here. It's actual like tether cord as opposed to this nylon cord. So you can see the difference is the production version is longer and thinner compared to the custom. As far as the blade shapes, of course, this is a Wharncliffe blade, completely flat edge, comes to a nice point. This one, believe it or not, even though it looks, you know, very comparable to the other one, there is a little bit of a belly here. I would probably consider this more of a modified spear point. You know, some people argue these specific blade shapes, but, you know, regardless, my point here is that this is not completely a flat edge. There is a little bit of belly here. It does offer very nice slicing capability. Did come completely razor sharp, and that was still used. I got this one used. This was a gift from a viewer, one of the coolest gifts I've ever gotten. This knife gets used a heck of a lot. This is one of those knives that I'll always have. I will always have this knife. It's just going to be in the collection. It's not one of those ones that's going to be rotated out or sold anytime soon. It's just really special to me. And what makes this extra special is the fact that I got the chance to meet Alan Folts. He's such a nice guy. You know, a lot of times you'll fall in love with different knife designs. If you ever have the opportunity to make it out to some kind of convention like Blade Show or anything similar and meet the people that are actually making these designs, it adds something to it. It adds an allure to it. It adds a little bit of you know, personability as well. You know, when I look at this, I picture that specific guy on a grinder coming up with this knife, you know? So it's not just a faceless design to me. It means a little bit more because of that. So it's just a little extra special. As far as the actual size on this, if you have no reference, if you don't own the regular Minimalist, it's about a 2-inch blade, 3 inches on the handle there. So touch over 5 inches. I think it was like 5.1 inches when I measured this. But fits in the hand great. It's such a little workhorse, I'm telling you, especially with the CPM 154. I could take this thing out pretty much anywhere, always have it around my neck. When I'm not using my folders or whatever I happen to be EDCing for the day or testing for the day or whatever, this is my go-to knife. It's always right there. I love using this in the car when I'm sitting down. It's a little bit more difficult to, you know, to get to my pocket. So if I'm cutting something open in the vehicle, I will always just unzip my jacket, or if it's just exposed on the outside of my shirt, just go right to this. It's just so easy, especially in a configuration around the neck. It's just one of my most used knives. I have no complaints about this knife, and honestly, it'd be really hard to say this about other knives, but there's nothing I can think to make this knife better. The only way I would consider this knife to be a better a knife for its size is if you know, it had a higher grade steel. But the CPM 154 is totally adequate. You know, my dream knife would probably be this Minimalist in like maybe S35VN. That's one of my, if not my favorite steel of all time. That's the only way I can see this getting better. I have no critiques whatsoever on the design, and that is saying a lot. So super cool. I mean, I usually like a nice rounded spine. It's a little bit more comfortable in choking up on the knife, but I do like the fact that this one has a little bit of an edge to it. Again, if there's ever that need to strike a ferro rod or something like that, or even just take a little bit of wood, you know, shavings off of a stick or something to get a fire started, I do like that it has that capability. Sometimes the knives that I'm EDCing don't. So as far as a neck knife or a backup knife, I do like the fact that I had that capability. Not everyone's gonna have or want that need in a knife, but just super cool. I highly recommend it. I don't know what to say. I mean, they're a little bit harder to find. You're not gonna find them just at any old knife dealer. You do have to kind of like, you know, look extra hard finding them. But especially like if you want a specific type, or if you want Allen to make you one custom that, you know, to your needs, your color specifications or whatever. So it's a little bit hard to find, but the price is definitely worth it. $150 on these. I think it is an awesome first custom if you want to get into that kind of realm of things. If you want to break out of production knives, but you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, what a great place to start. It is a workhorse of a knife. It's a knife you can actually use. It's not just going to be that custom knife that you're afraid to get scratched up or put in a display case or something and never use. That's the best part of this knife, is the fact that I use it every day. So super cool. This knife design is awesome. For 20 bucks, you guys will be missing out if you never try the production version. If you have the production version and use it and you love it, you know, if you're willing to fork over 150 bucks or save up for one of these, I think you'd be more than happy. This could be your first and last neck knife of all time. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than this. Lightweight, very versatile, nice point, super sharp edge, very good steel, extremely comfortable, ergonomic. I mean, what more can you ask for in a cool little neck knife? It's awesome. So one of my favorite little knives of all time. So that's it. Yeah, if you could pick one up, I wouldn't hesitate one bit. I think you'd be extremely happy with that one. So that's it. That's my review of the Allen Folts custom neck knife, the Minimalist. Super cool. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned. I have more knife reviews coming very soon, as well as some other stuff. So hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you soon. Take care.